AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Just stopped at the gas station real quick, had to fill up, and I'm on my way into the studio. I usually wake up at about 4 a.m., sometimes between 4 and 4:30, but I gotta be out the house.
How you guys doing? This is from the Antoine Show. This is for educational purposes. It's Antoine Daniels. Check out his channel, guys. It gives a lot of good content. It'll be in the Discord. It'll also be in the comments. The link. This is about Donald Trump allegedly getting rid of Section 8 and cutting off food stamps. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, because more likely when it comes to food stamps and Section 8, it's a woman's world when it comes to that. And it seems like no one's really taking no steps towards getting the man back in the home or getting the men back in a position where we can actually, the order of things, the natural order of things. Um, that just seems like, so I don't ever fall for it. Because when it comes to a woman's world, James Brown ain't around no more to save us. All right, all right, guys, listen to what he has to say. Let me speed that up a little bit. I like to speed it up for you guys. Y'all don't. A lot of times y'all don't want to. I give you a half an hour and 10 minutes.
4 or 5 o'clock, usually about 4:50, 4:45. Right now it is 5:08 in the morning, and this is every day. Sometimes I sleep in on Sunday, depending on what's going on, or if I'm out of town or something like that. Usually I got a plane to catch. But for the next month or so, hopefully I'm here in Michigan so I can be in the studio. But I work for myself. Last night we was on a Patreon live, a live stream exclusive, and we did Stock Club. And I'm going somewhere with this, so bear with me real quick. Last night we was on a Patreon exclusive and we did Stock Club. It lasted for about an hour and 20 minutes. Part of what I showed on Stock Club, and it was a phenomenal Stock Club. If y'all not a part of the Patreon, link is in the description. You really need to tap in. We running up a bag. We running up a bag in real life. I teach you what we look for when we invest in companies. We evaluate it. We look at the charts. We look at the numbers. I'm not going to do it for you. I'm going to teach you how to do it for yourself, so that when you see the news or when you're having conversations with people in real life, you'll be able to evaluate whether or not they're talking BS. You'll be able to have more conducive conversations with investors. You'll be able to make your portfolio boom. It's productive all the way. The news, you look at the news differently because you understand how it instead of just looking at the news like everybody else is a part of popular culture, right? But I showed where I worked at, like the place that I retired from in banking, last day of the year, last year, and I was showing them and telling them what I learned as part as being a part of 2 different banking companies. And so I retired, and then as usual, I'm still working for myself and I'm still grinding. I got my media company, I got everything that's going on around me, but I still woke up back then at 4:30, out the house before 5, grinding, hustling. Even when I worked from home, it was still the same thing. I worked from home for almost 2 months leading up into the new year because my studio was being redone, and so it was always a hustle. And what I see from people online today is a bunch of people. First of all, it's a bunch of misinformation about the programs that Trump is basically canceling as far as what he's going to continue to fund and all of that. If you really want to understand what it is, you don't have to listen to anybody on TikTok. You can go to any news media outlet. We covered it on the Millionaire Morning Show. We covered it on this channel. Anton Daniels, his press secretary, actually broke down the different things in the programs that he is focused on.
We've got these varicose veins all over your legs here. Let's talk about some of the ways
You're gonna have some.
we can treat that for you.
No longer funding or putting a pause on funding, which includes transgenderism, right? Things like what they talked about on the campaign trail when Kamala Harris was saying that she wasn't against funding the transition of people in prison at taxpayer dollars, funding that. $50 million going over, and specifically they mentioned this, $50 million going to condoms in Gaza. These diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, they're not funding that no more, so they offer that. What they are still doing, unfortunately, and I think that they need to go through this with a fine-tooth comb. I don't think you can just pause it immediately because there'll be too many people affected. But they are still funding your food stamps, Section 8, Medicaid, Medicare, all that stuff, right? And so she clearly spelled this out. But what I see from people online is a bunch of people complaining about the fact that they're no longer going to get their food stamps. And oh my God, I got a family of 2, family of 3, family of 4. I've seen people openly admit that they're getting over $3,000 in food stamps. We're going to be reviewing some of these videos, and we also going to talk about it on after hours tonight, so make sure y'all tap it after hours. But I openly see people talking about this type of stuff, right? And I got a couple different thoughts. First thought is stay away from the misinformation. Stop focusing on what everybody else is talking about and do your research for yourself. The second thought is, that's the quick one. The second thought is, what the fuck is y'all doing? Y'all are grown, able-bodied adults. I see men talking about this, a little sassy. I see women talking about this. Hey, sis, forget that, stay in your Section 8 housing. I thought y'all was getting it.
I know somebody in Virginia. She let me hold her EBT card one time, and it had $25,000 up there. She had 3 kids, if I'm not mistaken. Mexican lady. $25,000 was on her food stamps EBT. It's a scam. Everybody knows it. My own baby mother, every time she gets maybe 500, 600, she sells half of it as soon as she gets it, and gives the other percentage to her mother and father who are older. But these are for my children, so I understand completely. It's a scam. A lot of women, and I don't want to say just women, a lot of people with this EBT card are not using it the way it's supposed to be used. It should be reevaluated. Child support should be reevaluated. A lot of these Section 8 should be reevaluated. Some people be on Section 8 their whole life.
I thought that y'all was running up a bag. I thought that y'all was the most educated and the most enrolled, and y'all had all the degrees and stuff. So you telling me that you advocated to be equal, you wanted the freedom to be able to do what you want to do, but you want to still stay on that government titty, and you are able-bodied. I mean, these is 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds. Ain't nothing wrong with them. They just don't want to work. They think that it's the responsibility of us, the taxpayers, who then fund the federal government, is supposed to still take care of their kids because they got 3 of them. The fuck? And see, this is one of the reasons why we need common sense politicians, common sense policies, and common sense people that are at the helm, that are adults, that are taking care of business and doing what they got to do in order to craft these things, because it's not our responsibility to take care of your kids. Some of y'all are saying, oh my God, but I was married and now I'm a single mom. That's your fault. And I'm not saying that you can't get some help. But what I am saying is, it's not our responsibility to fund your bad kids for the rest of our lives, and we got to start making some adjustments. We got to start making some changes. This don't make no sense. This ain't right. Honestly, I'm right. I'm not with it. I'm not for it. I don't agree with it. I never agreed with it. I hated growing up and seeing people that was on food stamps for their whole life. My family never did that. We stayed in the hood. I was raised on between 8 Mile and 7 Mile, between Norfolk and Chippewa, Livernois and Wyoming, and we hustled. We had to get it. My father had to actually pay for things and go to work every day. You know what I'm saying? They did whatever it is that they had to do. They stuck together. They focused on, focus on grinding and keeping the family together and doing what they had to do. It ain't nobody else's responsibility to take care of your children and make sure that you got housing, but you. Yeah, do some of these immigrant jobs that they get rid of, all these people for and stuff. It ain't never no excuse. You better hustle. You got the gig economy. You got DoorDash, Lyft, you got Uber. You got you know what I'm saying? You can go on some of these sites.
So right, you have all these programs, and most women, I'm gonna be honest with you, they don't have police records, so they actually can do Uber. A lot of men have a record; they can't even do these jobs, and a lot of reasons why they can't do these jobs is because the other person has put a charge on them just so they can get the children, just so they can get the funding. I remember when I had my first baby mother, we had a disagreement. She called the cops. They arrested me just because we both had joint custody. It wasn't written in stone in the court. The cops arrested me just to give her the legal that she was the sole custody so she can get all the funding. And she was loving it. She still loves it to this day. This is the way it goes. It's crazy.
Got apps where you can go and find gig jobs and stuff like that, go and put stuff together, hanging TVs. I don't care what you got to do, but you're going to have to get off of that government nipple and that government titty, because it is not the responsibility of us, the people, the taxpayers, to make sure that.
And my children's mother has never had a job or day in her life. Never. How you ducking the system where I gotta go out here and work every day? I gotta pay rent. If I go get a job, they take. I had a job one time and I was making every 2 weeks about 1,200, and they used to leave me $130 every 2 weeks. That's like $250 or 266 or something like that. How am I supposed to live on $266? Please tell me.
You are taken care of. I don't understand what we're talking about here. We have got, and this is what I was talking about on Monday, and everybody wanted to act like I was crazy. We have gotten so entitled. We have turned into babies. We have turned into little children, so much so to where we no longer are adults, and we still are on the nipple of the government. This is one of the reasons and one of the ways that they broke up y'all families and tied y'all to the federal government in the first place. This is one of the ways that they did it. And so you sitting there complaining, and then you know what's so funny? People will sit there and try to criticize me for grinding and for hustling and going to get it. Oh my God, you're doing this all day, whatever. Make sure. No, listen, don't go and talk to me about shit. Don't try to criticize me about how many hours are you always in the studio, you working all the time. We going to take some time off for your family. I gotta fund these punk ass baby mamas and these punk ass sassy dudes that don't want to go to work every day, and they taking our tax dollars, and they saying that they gotta make sure they on Section 8 and housing and getting food stamps for the rest of their life. See, it's one thing for us to criticize migrants, forget it, because they're not even citizens. And it's another thing for you to sit there and for your badass kids to be raising up, and then y'all don't even take care of your kids the way that y'all supposed to. I'm tired, bro. And I'm not tired of working. I'm tired of funding y'all bad habits. This is why our taxes are so high. This is why we got to pay so much in income taxes. This is why we got to pay so much in all of the things that we do on a regular basis. I don't want to fund your habits. I don't want to fund your lifestyle. I don't really care about. I don't care about your kids, bro. Real talk. I'm just being honest with you. I genuinely don't care about anything that you got going on. I don't care about your kids. I don't care about your situationship. I don't care about nothing that you got going on. So, first of all, it's a lot of misinformation that's being spread out here in these streets. And the second thing is, y'all need to get up and get a job and start hustling. Guys, guys out here get it every single day. We don't complain about it. We don't whine about it. We just make the adjustments, and we do what we got to do on a regular basis. And I still see people taking advantage of the system, and it's unfortunate. Because you're taking advantage of us. And the more that we allow it to happen, the more that they're going to continue to do it. Everybody got to get a job. Everybody got to get a job. I'll create one for yourself. End of discussion. Y'all let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Make sure y'all tap into the Millionaire Morning Show today. It's going to be absolutely awesome. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
Pursue your passion for work.
He's just being honest. He's breaking it down. It's so true. A lot of people do not want to go to work. But now that supposedly the immigrants are being deported, there should be more jobs availability. I know it's scarce out there looking for a job. Going online, you can put in 40, 50 applications and still nobody hires you nowadays. I could imagine what some people are going through. But if you keep depending on the government, you're destroying a muscle. It's called hard work. And it pays off. My grandma used to say, work smarter, not harder. She never said get on welfare. My mother never been on welfare. She raised us, she went to work. She had class, you can say. Something about having class, dignity. Something about having dignity where you want to grind and taste. It tastes better when you get it on your own. And I'm not saying you can't get no help. I'm saying there should be a cutoff period. Nobody should be on welfare or state or Section 8 for 20 years. At least make it 2 years. Some simple, right? If you don't find a job in 2 years, then I don't know what to tell you. All right, guys, what do you think? Like, subscribe, comment. If you want to donate to Elon Musk 12345. Put the $sign first. It's $ELONMUSK 12345. It'll be under Have a Heart. I appreciate $1, $2.50. It just shows me that you like this type of content, and I'll continue to bring this type of content. I appreciate you guys. You have a beautiful day, right? For real.